Hi everyone, I'm Donna Stellhorn, your practical astrologer, and today we are talking about the new moon. It's on August 22nd. It's at 0 degrees of Virgo, and this new moon makes an inconjunct to Pluto, an inconjunct to Saturn, an inconjunct to Neptune, and a square to Uranus. And so all of that can help you feel inspired, but also very distracted. And so let's talk about a strategy that you can win with this energy. So this new moon forms a yod with Pluto on one side and Saturn and Neptune on the other side. And a yod is a configuration of two inconjuncts with a sextile. And the sextile is the secret sauce for making a yod work. And that is the sextile between Pluto and Saturn and Neptune. And so in very practical terms, what this means is that you're going to want to take something apart and then discard the broken pieces or change something and then put it back together in a new way. So right now, the solution to whatever problem you're trying to solve, whether that is with a decision, a routine, something about your work or a relationship, comes when you disassemble either how you got to this place or the building blocks that you use to say these are absolutes that have to happen to make this happen. When you take all of that apart and you lay it out in front of you, it becomes obvious what part is not working and you have a breakthrough. Now, all of that's pretty straightforward, but there is a problem with this chart, and that is the square to Uranus. And so with this square to the new moon, it's like there's something on the corner of your eye, and it's jumping up and down trying to get your attention. And so there's some sort of distraction. And that because it's a square, that's a fight. A fight is a situation where you could win or you could lose. And the thing that is at stake is your attention. So, but I'm going to tell you how to win with this energy, and that is because Uranus makes a trine to Pluto and a sextile to Saturn and Neptune. So when that little jumping thing starts to distract you, turn and give it your full attention and ask yourself, why is this thing trying to get my attention? What is compelling me to watch this video or listen to this podcast or talk to this person? Or how does this relate to what I am working on at this moment? You see, this new moon could give you vital information on the problem that you're working on, and it could come from some out-of-the-way source and that you would normally call a distraction that actually turns out to be the answer. And if you would like to know more about what's ahead for you in 2025 and 2026, I do readings. There's a link in the description. Okay, Capricorn, this new moon that's at 0 degrees of Virgo is giving you some new options in the area of legal matters. And that can mean that you get a milestone in a court case that you're involved in, that, you get the right piece of paper to put to the judge, or that you get a ruling of some sort. This can also be that you get a permit that you needed, or licensing that you needed, or some sort of credentials that you needed, that these things finally come through. This is also a time that's connected to education. And so that, of course, might mean that you're just going back to school. And so here you are and classes are starting. But also this could mean that you get some recognition in school, so that you get the financial aid that you're looking for, or that you get the counselor or advisor that you're looking for, that you get the class that you wanted. This also has to do with travel. And so it's not that you're going to get all three of these, but you're going to know which of these is going to fit. So if it's travel, this could be that you get a discounted ticket, that a friend says that they'll let you use their miles, or that you get an opportunity for time off so you can go away. So there's something here with one of those three things that is likely during this 2-week period. Now, when it comes to love relationships, specifically new love, Venus is making a wonderful trine to Saturn. So you have an opportunity to meet someone new for a love relationship. Now, it's necessary for you to go out in the world, but it looks like you are doing that. And so this is just where you want to, be not so focused on what you're trying to do or what you're trying to accomplish, but look around and see who you can meet in your situations, whether they're business or social situations, because you could meet someone who's very interested in you for a love relationship. Now, when it comes to existing love relationships, you kind of have to right now agree to disagree, because the energy right now is the moon is making an inconjunct to Saturn, and that is that the two of you are trying to come at something to solve it, but you're coming at it from such different places of different values or different outcomes that you want that you're not finding the common ground. And during this 2-week period, you can start to find that common ground, but even with this aspect, I think you might find it challenging to even understand what it is that your partner wants to get out of this. Now, of course, this is only one aspect of your love relationship. Much of your love relationship can go on working as it has been. And so you can either pay a lot of attention to this and start to find that common ground, or you can just wait for this energy to line up better, which it will after this 2-week period. Now, when it comes to your money, you pull money both from Saturn, which is doing the inconjunct to this new moon, and Uranus, which is doing the square to this new moon. That is that you are hearing the starting gun. It is ready to start this race. That means take action, take action, take action. So all of the things you've been working on, the plans, the thinking, the deciding, the spreadsheets, etc., it's time to start. It's time to get something out into the world, start to do some market testing, do a soft launch, test, like do, if you've been paper trading, maybe trade $1, but do something where things are really starting to happen, and then you're going to see the results and you'll know where to push and where to back off. Now, when it comes to money from business or from investments, your energy is very strong. The sun is making a square to Uranus. That means that, that orders come in, you have to fill them, or a customer calls with a question and you have to answer it, or the markets are moving and so you need to respond. So it is all about action. So mostly what you want to do is carve out time so that you can do these things. And that is to check in the morning and say, okay, what is it that has to be done, and see if you can check that off. You're going to find that decision making is easier during this time, and so you're not going to get like a bottleneck or something like that. It's just that there are distractions that can pull you away from something that might be urgent but not important. And then when it comes to money derived from career, so that would be a paycheck, you continue to do this very nice aspect of Uranus trine Pluto. So this is a time where, on a fundamental level, you can shift your career to something that makes you much more money. But of course, that's much longer than over this 2-week period. So during this 2-week period, you want to think about planting those seeds. What are the skills you still need to get? Who are the people that you still need to connect with, so that you can maneuver yourself like the chess master into a position where you can get the job that you want or move up in the ranks. Okay, in the third section of this video, I have a couple of announcements, and then we're going to continue talking about finding the hidden money in your chart. So we are approaching September, and September this year is eclipse season, and eclipses are what cause people's lives to change. So this year, I'm giving a Zoom class on what this eclipse is all about. And so if you would like to know how it could affect your life and what eclipses mean in general, consider doing this class. This class is also going to be recorded if the time doesn't work out exactly for your schedule. And so there is a link in the description to register for this class. And then I wanted to let you know that the next New Month Wishes class is going to be on September 1st. There is a link to that class, to register for that class, in the description. And then all members of this channel get special access to deep dive astrology videos, feng shui videos, and also they get a playlist of the tutorials that we are doing in the third sections. So if you want to become a member, that join button is right by the subscribe button. So let's continue our discussion about finding the hidden money in your chart. And by the way, there is a video course on this topic. There's a link in the description. So last time we talked about the different money houses. I thought we would shift gears a little bit this time and talk about some of the planets. And specifically, I want to talk about Pluto, Jupiter, and the Sun. And so when Pluto and Jupiter are coming together and they are talking to one another, then you have ambition. When the Sun and Jupiter come together and talk to one another, then you have confidence. And when all three of these come together, you are unstoppable. Now, there are different ways that planets can talk to each other. There can be communication happening in your natal chart, through your progressions, through transits, or through a derivative chart. But let's just first start with how planets do talk to each other, and that is through aspects. And so think of yourself at, say, a large party, and you can talk to people who are around you. But if you know someone well, you can actually communicate with that person clear across the room because you know each other. So through your gestures or facial expressions, you can get the message across. So that's what an aspect is. That's the two planets. They know each other, and so they are communicating with each other. And that means they can help each other or hinder each other, as the case may be. Now, planets talk to each other through degrees. That is the number with the little circle by it. The little circle means degrees. Now, in a natal chart, I give a 7-degree orb. Some astrologers do more, some astrologers do less. I find that 7 degrees works a lot. It works really, really well. And so that means that if you have a planet at, say, 15 degrees, that every planet in your chart that is between 8 degrees and 22 degrees is talking to that 15-degree planet. Now, they are all making different aspects depending on signs, but we're not going to think about that right now. We're just going to know that they are talking with each other. Now, there's 30 degrees in each sign, and there's 12 signs, and we number these degrees from 0 to 29. So if you had a planet at 0 degrees, it's talking to every planet in your chart that is from 0 to 7 degrees, but also going backwards, it talks to every planet that is from 23 degrees to 29 degrees. That section of planets, those planets are called an out of sign aspect, which I'm sure you've heard me mention on this channel before. And that is still an aspect. It's just a little harder to spot sometimes. So what are you looking for? Well, if Pluto is talking to your Jupiter, you have access to ambition. If Jupiter is talking to your Sun, you have access to confidence. And if Pluto and Jupiter are talking to your Sun, then you can become unstoppable. And for those of you who know some astrology, consider transits with a 1-degree orb, consider progress charts with a 1-degree orb, or consider derivative charts such as return charts with a 7-degree orb. And if you want to know for sure if you have these aspects in your chart, I can send you a PDF of your chart. Just send me a note, there's a link in the description, and add to your message that you want to know about Pluto and Jupiter. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. By the way, I do a weekly illustrated newsletter, and so if you like astrology and you love black cats, you're going to love this newsletter. The link is in the description, and I'll see you in the next video.